Well, boy, I'll tell you, we are really in the middle of something here. Vance Davis is here. Vance has a really strange background, to say the least, including being in the NSA, he says. Richard quotes Vance as a source for the statement made last night about the missile that was fired that is strange. I mean, you go look at a world map, folks. Look at Korea. Just find Korea on the map. It's not that hard if you have a globe in your house. And look very carefully at what they could have done versus what they did. North Korea could have fired this missile or missiles, depending on your point of view, directly south. You can see that on a map. They would have crossed nobody's territory. North Korea juts out from the south. So they could have fired it south into the ocean, but they didn't. They fired it or them east toward and over Japan. It would seem on the face of it to be a very poor decision. I mean, go look at the globe yourself or a map, and you'll see what I mean. Vance is saying he's got sources that remain in NSA that have told him all of this. We're about to let the audience ask questions, but we definitely do want to talk a little bit about Russia if Vance has information on Russia. And here they are again, Richard and Vance. And you want to say one more time, please, what you know about what's going on in Russia. I just got news on CNN that, in fact, the Duma has agreed to vote one more time soon, maybe as early as Friday, on Chernomyrdin. I don't think that he's going to get through. That's my take on it. Maybe the third time around, but maybe not at all. And what is, you say there's a general in Russia in league with bin Laden, that hard little terrorist that we just tried to not kill when we bombed the hell out of where he was. Officially, we tried to not kill him, is what they said. And that there's going to be a civil war in Russia. In fact, the Duma did say that Yeltsin was pushing the country towards civil war. And you're saying are you saying that's what's going to happen, Vance?
Yes, very strong probability that's going to occur. I don't see the Duma putting in Chernomyrdin. They're tired. They've been promised other avenues of getting their power back. And we have to remember, the same people that ran Russia before they supposedly fell and became a democracy are still in power today. That hasn't really changed. It's a lot of games and a very intricate, very deep web being wound in all of this stuff that we're playing with here and over the months you've been talking about on your radio show and so forth.
All right.
Gaddafi, who's been a thorn in our side since the 80s,
yep,
with the Peanut Man, our very esteemed president, the last Democrat president, in fact, before Clinton, one thing has happened that has really messed up the Muslim world, in a sense. And that is Russia is siding, and I'll use a word I was told, sided with the Great Western Snake.
Us.
And Richard,
we are the Great Western Snake, right?
We are the Great Western Snake. Now, there used to be an old flag of the Republic of the United States, which was one of the original flags in the early part of the last century, which had, stars and stripes, and the banner and a logo, "Don't Tread on Me."
Yeah.
There is one of the original 13 colonies, I think it's Vermont, state of Vermont, whose state flag is still the "Don't Tread on Me."
Mm-hmm.
Today, Yeltsin presented in Moscow a replica of that old flag to William Jefferson Clinton.
And as I told Richard, and Richard kind of knew this, he's seen it, they do have a golden torch in Moscow, given as a gift and built to replace the Stalin statue.
As a replica of the torch of the Statue of Liberty.
All right. Look, I'm getting wild. I couldn't even count all the facts. I've got faxes burying me here in my room, and I'm going to give you some idea of the kind of responses I'm getting right now, and then we're going to go to the phones. Here's one. Please ask your guests if the missiles launched toward and over Japan had warheads, and if so, were the warheads conventional or nuclear?
I cannot answer that question. I was not given that information.
All right. Richard?
Let me give you a piece of data that is in line with that question, which is a very good question.
Can you answer the question?
The Japanese government tonight is mounting a major effort at deep-sea salvage of the missiles and their warheads.
I bet they are. Good point.
No, that is actually CNN.
No, I believe it. And if I were the Japanese, I'd damn well want to get them too. All right. Now, here's somebody who supports you. Vance Davis is telling you the truth. I have had a secret clearance since '52. As part of our clearance, we were required to read the Communist White Paper that in '54 was read into the congressional record by a senator. My copy's been sent to my son, so I can't give you the numbers, dates, and names tonight. The plan and schedule was all there, just like Vance is telling it. That's one. Now, here comes a rough one. Art. The Gulf Breeze 6, and that's what you were called, Vance. You were one of the 6, right?
The Pensacola News Journal, yes.
Called you the Gulf Breeze 6. Were given honorable discharges after they handed over 1,500 pages of notes. These pages contained predictions that were made in 7 sessions using a Ouija board. Clearly, with all due respect to Vance, he is not as credible as Major Dames. For Richard to prop up Vance as a reliable source is questionable. Either one of you can.
May I hit that straight on the head?
Yep.
If we are dealing with an unconventional physics that allows us to transcend space and time and view events halfway around the world, Russian submarines, all the interesting skullduggery that Ed and his colleagues were involved in, and the people at SRI before, and Hal Puthoff before that, and Vance after that, then why are we limiting the abnormal and forbidding us to consider that Ouija boards are also another technological tool of this hyperdimensional physics? In other words, once you have crossed the Rubicon,
you know me, I'll go for anything.
All bets are off, and we must assess the data in terms of its intrinsic value, not in terms of a prejudice as to its source.
Now, let me make a comment there on top of that, Richard. The Ouija board was a tool to focus the information that the body was receiving, not the other way around. The Ouija board received nothing. It was the body, my body, with Ken Beeson sitting on the other side, receiving information in our brain, translating it, putting it onto the board. The board receives nothing.
Okay.
It's the body that's opened up.
Vance, did you write a book?
Yes, I did.
What was it called?
Unbroken Promises.
I thought so.
You have a copy, I believe, Art.
What we're going to do is put a link up on our webpage to Unbroken Promises. You haven't said a word to me. Keith Rowland, my webmaster, called and said, hey, did he write a book called Unbroken Promises? I said, I'll ask. So the answer is you did, so we'll put a link up. Now, here's one more fax, then we're going to the phones without fail. Art, I read an article about the Gulf Breeze 6. And in that article, it was mentioned that when they were arrested, a satanic Bible was found in their possession.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. If that's the answer, fine. So the answer is no, huh?
We had, in fact, one of the reports too from people that thought they knew what they were talking about. You got to remember, we're in solitary confinement.
Yeah, I understand.
And talk to no one. That we were there to meet Jesus Christ coming down in a UFO. This is how ridiculous it got.
Okay, so the answer straight out is no.
No, we did
no
not.
Satanic Bible.
I am a Christian, Art, and I stay away from the satanic or the dark side of movement because it builds chaos, it builds fear, it builds doom and gloom, and I believe it's in our power. You had a gentleman, Art, I believe, that I love, that claimed he could move clouds, and you guys did experiments.
Neil Slade, yes.
Yes. I think if that's done again on the scenarios we're talking about tonight, we can change things.
All right.
That's my belief.
All right.
But no, we did not have a satanic Bible.
All right.